this guy. Now the Kaisa, this is a great flex for both either him or Yeon if they put enough practice time. Instant Rumble and Rell answer here.
Yeah, Rumble is what Impact played yesterday, maybe a little bit Unleashed. That's not a champion he's played that much of in the last 5 years at least, but definitely been gaining a lot of steam in LCS, was banned frequently last split. And the Rell, I think, is a denial of the Kaisa Rell. That's one trend, Raafaa, I feel like we've seen all week, was this super early Kaisa Rell priority because they are both flex picks. And if you have both, it gives you kind of limitless flexibility in the draft and makes it very difficult for the other team to have any level of counter picks. So I just expect if Kaisa Rell is up, every red side team at this point will take it 1-2, so that's why I think we see them split them here.
Yeah, they don't want to give it up for FlyQuest to have both of them in their hands. The early Gnar for Summit should give Impact a little bit more information, but a Yone answer. Now, because this Kaisa can still be flexed around, it means that we can still see whether if it will be for Yeon or for AP if he wants something different into Yone. But while we're getting through the second round of bans, Viva la LCS! LCS en Español is the official Spanish language stream of the LCS. This new viewing experience is live on LLA's Twitch and YouTube channels right now. Scan the QR code or go to lolesports.com to learn more. Back into ban phase, LeBlanc taken off the table.
And I do think that we are definitely in a patch at the moment where there are more flex picks than usual, because even this Rumble with the Yone makes me a little bit unknown about where everything is going for FlyQuest. Yes, the Rumble was picked into the Gnar was picked into Rumble, but it could also change. Impact could possibly play Yone. I know that they could jungle or mid Rumble if they really wanted to, so still making it a little bit difficult for Team Liquid to feel comfortable with their picks.
Would be some dark tech. I don't think we've seen Rumble jungle in quite some time. And Vicla to pilot a mid Rumble would also be pretty cool, but you know, FlyQuest still trying to take away APA's comfort picks here in both the LeBlanc and the Cassiopeia, trying to limit the possibilities against this Yone, whereas Team Liquid just still focusing on marksman options since Prince hasn't really picked on one yet.
They are definitely target banning APA more than other teams I feel like have so far. A lot of 80 carry bans as well, which honestly, those two 80 carry bans do open up Kaisa bot a lot more, because those are two of the stronger, slightly outranging 80 carries that they could play bottom. So it makes it much less likely actually that APA will be playing the Kaisa for me.
FlyQuest, will they confirm whether this Rell is still support or jungle? It looks like they're going to go for the Ashe, and this still keeps things in the cards here for whether Vulcan has a counter pick option or Spica is going to take the Rell for himself. As Team Liquid now, this is where the composition has to be wrapped up. You have some options to dive forward with the Kaisa and the Rakan. Gnar can help start things off. It is a little more dependent on that Mega Bar, but Team Liquid, they can choose whether they're kiting back or they want to fully dive in on this comp.
Yeah, Neeko is still there. Hasn't that did I miss something? I thought that was still getting banned a lot.
I think teams have been prioritizing it less now throughout the week. I could be wrong, and maybe this is just, you know, fake news on our end, but it doesn't seem like that teams have been picking up Neeko as much, or maybe it's just been hitting the bans a lot. But this is for sure for APA. And now a jungle option still needs to be blocked in for Pyosik, and oh boy, the Lee Sin.
I mean, Closure tried it yesterday. Now it's time for Pyosik to do the same thing. Why not? Maybe it's also good into jungle Rell, because one thing is the Ashe Rell might not be a good bottom lane, so we might actually be seeing Vulcan's support pick right now. See how much he's talking. The Rell could be telegraphed to the jungle based on the pairing. Also, Vulcan loves support counter pick.
Yep.
So, Alistar, he thinks he can pull it off against the Kaisa Rakan because it was clear what they were leaning against in the bottom lane. Now, best case for FlyQuest is they can get early push and maybe a kill onto Prince early, and then Vulcan can just leave.
Yep.
Because that's when they are going to be at their most comfortable. We were talking about this in the LCS lounge before the day. Mark's point was that was what the original vision of this team felt like. Vulcan and Spica running around the map making plays, and they have a team composition that can once again do that.
It's what worked yesterday against Evil Geniuses. They made that first game plan from Spica ganking the bottom side of the map. Unforgiven and Aelor were shut down pretty much from the get-go. And then once Prince is fine and you don't have to parent him as around anymore, then Vulcan's free to roam the map. And that is where, career-wise, he is at his best, making plays around the entire map.
And for Team Liquid, I do think this composition is going to be...
maximum mastery. So really, the onus is on Pyosik to just be at a 10 the entire game.
Completely agree. And Team Liquid, I will say, no matter what happens, their games are always entertaining.
Yes.
They are a very explosive, aggressive team. Their last 2 games, as Core he's going to try and do something fancy here with this jump over the wall. Their last 2 games have been very long. They've had large leads. They've lost those large leads, and they're 1-1. Get out of there, buddy.
Just using the clone as he's faking being Kaisa, but with the clone happening, they've got to know that it is APA under the disguise of Yeon. But CoreJJ and Yeon have snuck into the blue jungle. Does Team Liquid have an angle here?
No. They don't have enough people, but they at least have vision. They got some deep vision. That allowed them to see where FlyQuest was in regards to their own blue buff, which then allows APA to go up and ward Raptors. So they at least have some early eyes on Spica, which will allow Pyosik to plot a better early game strategy. What might happen here is, since they see Spica here, Pyosik could just go there. But also notice that the river is already it was double warded by FlyQuest here, so they would also see the Lee Sin cross. So I think it's pretty unlikely that we see a real fight, but it is more likely that we see some type of invading shenanigans. Based on the double wards, I don't know if TL saw them in their jungle there, but
yeah,
he's just decided to do a normal clear. There's definitely some mind games going on here, though.
Trying to limit Spica's options of where he can go, because as a Rell, once you're level 3, having access to pretty much your full kit outside of Magnastorm means you can do some devastating things. You don't have to go for a full clear, although they've done a pretty nice job of optimizing with the ridiculous base numbers that they've added on top of her kit. But
yeah,
being super aggressive as Rell, and if you can get things snowballing, you are a very low economy tank. You don't need that much income. You get your first item, and then after that, you just want to make plays.
That's a fake out. That's a very unhelpful hawk shot. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So it walked all the way across here, showed that he killed these 2 camps. Spica might think that he somehow snuck through wards, but now he's going mid.
And APA ducks out with the clone. Full Spica. Might miss out on 1 minion or so, but APA, no real damage done. Summoner still maintained in the mid lane.
Yeah, actually, because of the wards that FlyQuest had in the bottom river by process of elimination, Spica would still realize that he just skipped wolves and went to blue buff, so actually no shenanigans. I thought maybe Spica would get faked out and think that there was an invade happening, but yeah, that is not.
There's 2 minions acting funky. Is there 2 Neekos in this game? As Pyosik is suddenly topside of the map, and Impact might be in a world of trouble here. Waits for the flash, flashing the Q, the Sonic Wave, and that means the gank does not go well for Team Liquid, but at least the Summoner spell is burned.
Yeah, and I do think that when you have Summit Gnar on your team, you do want to let him get a little bit ahead because he's going to be trying to split push the whole game. But I also do think that the bottom side of the map is going very well for FlyQuest right now. The Spica tries once again.
APA in the middle. Spica trying to jump down onto APA as well, and Pyosik is able to dodge out with the ward hop. That could have been deadly.
Man, that was... I got faked out by APA's Neeko there.
Yeah.
That was a good escape. He just had to burn flash when there was a 3-man gank. But if this situation continues bottom lane, there's going to be a lot more looks for FlyQuest. So the Ashe pick, weirdly enough, was first prioritized in NA by TL. They lost a few games with it because they're really bad at closing games. Yeah. But it's really, really good early game. So Prince able to get early prio. Alistar's not necessarily a strong laner, but Ashe is. So they're winning lane because of the Ashe pick, which then allows Vulcan to roam. So the Alistar Rell, if they can keep getting turns like that, I think will be very, very good for their chances in this game.
And definitely seems like a development of FlyQuest understanding the strengths of their individual players on this roster. While yes, it would be nice to completely to play towards Prince and just snowball and feed him a bunch of kills, if he is fine just laning on his own and then you get to unlock Vulcan across the map, then... And it's definitely a double win for FlyQuest here, as you already called it out. Prince is handling himself just fine. Natural CS lead against Yeon and CoreJJ. Whereas Vulcan, if he keeps influencing the map, then the top side of Team Liquid is going to be under immense pressure.
Yeah, I do think that was a very good recall interrupt by CoreJJ there. You can see Yeon has already gone back to base once. Prince was trying to get his first recall in, but delaying that will definitely mess up their timings, and the longer the TL can hold that bot lane matchup with the item advantage, the more they're going to be able to catch up in lane.
Yeah. So now here's my question here. For FlyQuest, because they have so much pressure to be able to push in bottom side of the map, do they want to continue using this to look for plays, picking off mid lane or top lane, or do they want to use the priority to start snowballing dragons here?
I think ideally they just keep the CS advantage and then go for dragons. And because it's Team Liquid, you'll probably get a fight that way. Like, Team Liquid is not a team that you generally have to manufacture action against. So I think if they can just keep putting themselves in winning situations, the play would be to have TL come to them.
And then if you set up, you have so much CC to be able to answer back on in. Team Liquid try to go forward, and then you have Magastorm, you have Alistar full combo to just be able to lock people down. Sounds good to me. Team Liquid.
Hello.
Summon is going to throw Impact into the wall, but they know that Impact doesn't have flash before. This time Pyosik can land the Sonic Wave. He's going to go in, but Spica is waiting in the wings. Great counter gank in time by Spica. First blood goes to Impact, but Summit trades one back with the Boomerang Blade, and now he's just going to force Spica to back off.
It's a Team Liquid game, baby! Summit just decides to burn everything. They blindly move into Fog of War against a Rumble and get the 1-for-1.
Have more action potentially mid lane. Oh, CoreJJ and Yeon here, and that forces Vulcan to flash.
Yeah, Vulcan again moving mid. This time TL matches with 2, but it does give Prince more free time in the bottom lane. I generally do think for FlyQuest game plan, as long as they can keep Prince ahead of the other AD carry, it's generally good for them. So I think they're quite happy with this game state.
FlyQuest, as long as they continue maintaining it, they're going to be in a good spot, as you already alluded to, as we take a look back at the top side.
Let's watch this one more time. Pyosik trying to go for a fast play through lane. Definitely has some second thoughts while he's sitting on the equalizer about whether or not he should take it. Even burns his flash at the end. Thank goodness for them, Summit lands that long-range boomerang. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. Overall, even though the first blood did go over to Rumble, I think Summit will get a little bit more out of that because he gets extra experience for staying alive and getting the extra minions. So yeah, you notice he actually has a 1 level advantage on Impact now and can potentially keep up some pressure.
Because you definitely want Summit ahead of this matchup so that he can always keep Rumble away on the other side of the map, because a lot of Rumble's great power is going to come through those equalizers in those objective fights. But if Rumble's not there, then that's a big team fight ulti cooldown gone for FlyQuest, and that makes things a little dicier for the team fighting.
Yeah, and also one thing that I heard Kobe mention yesterday was that Team Liquid has led the league in first Herald percentage. So already you can see a lot of priority towards this first Herald. I think both teams potentially want to fight right now. So there's a lot of action on the top side. 9 of the 10 players are up here.
I think Rumble's flash is just about to come up again. Impact, but he's getting stunned up against the wall, and Pyosik is there as well with the Dragon's Rage, and it guarantees no way he gets out of this one alive. No, he dodges it! Impact's out, and he lays down the red carpet, and lands true from Prince downtown! It is disaster for Team Liquid, and FlyQuest bounce back with life!
TL tried to go back to the Impact basket, and it comes up completely empty for them. 2 kills and a Herald for Fly, but also Team Liquid is trying to pick up plates on the other side. This is by no means a free play.
Yeah, the caveat for Team Liquid, consolation prize, some plates over to Yeon, but big Herald move for FlyQuest, being able to answer back on a counter gank, and that is just going to continue snowballing their lead further and further.
Yeah, a really big investment there, actually. I don't think Prince even would have wanted to go up there. Yes, he landed the arrow and was the catalyst for that big plate to happen, but he gave up 2 plates to the enemy AD carry. So now Yeon, who was previously behind, when I checked, about 200 to 300 gold from Prince, is now up 400 gold to Prince. Prince lost a lot for that move. You can also see reset again. Rumble has now taken over bottom lane, so Prince hasn't really got gold for the last minute and a half. So yes, it looked like a good play for FlyQuest, but unless they get a big Herald, this isn't going to mean that much. Watching the play one more time, it was a nice outplay from Impact. It looks like TL just didn't have the damage. They even waited a little bit for the Resonating Strike to get more execute damage on the Lee Sin Q, and Impact just got his flash up before they can land the arrow and calm him down.
And Impact's flash was literally just off cooldown until the very last part of that combo from Team Liquid. It's tragic for them, but for FlyQuest, this is so needed. I mean, we have already talked about you know, how dire straits in FlyQuest are for their summer season. Any wins that they can pick up is another step forward to saving their playoffs potential, as Summit is now getting dove by 3 from FlyQuest. All the CC in the world is going to put an end to Summit as APA teleports in as a minion, but the rest of FlyQuest have already bounced back.
And this is how Spica and Vulcan want to play. They want to combo up, be with 1 damage dealer, and just dive the crap out of people. But again, like, they are nice plays. They are killing Summit, but they are giving up stuff on the other side. I'd say Mountain Drake is one of the best Drakes in the game to take early, just for the resist that it's going to grant throughout the entirety of the game. Gold's still pretty close, but the encouraging thing is that FlyQuest is making plays and having action happen, and Vicla has a lot of gold.
I mean, the nicest thing is it's already not a stomp. I mean, FlyQuest and Team Liquid are clearly making good moves on opposite ends of the map. If one goes bad for one team, they already have something planned on the other side of the map to bounce back for it. So everyone in the LCS stands, I hope you're ready for a banger, because we're opening one on our last day of week 5. So you're not leaving anytime soon. We got to watch every single minute of this one.
Every Team Liquid game is a banger. That's one thing we can guarantee. This one's already set up. Like, Summit's getting dove again. This is standard.
Okay, but he flashes the Fate Sealed. Will be enough damage from Vicla. He goes under tower, and Spica's taking it up, so he's got his boy tracked up, and CoreJJ charms him, but there's no damage follow-up quite yet. Pyosik is walking in. Can he land the Resonating Strike? It forces the flash out of Vicla, and he just walks away clean.
Already the lead leaguer Nisodets, adding to that lead. It is an insurmountable gap at this point. I believe that's his 2nd isolated death of the game, and we're only 12 minutes in. But anyway, actually, Vicla. Okay, the standard Team Liquid game actually is they get a fairly large gold lead and then the game is close. So when they are at a 1,000 gold deficit, that would speak very highly to FlyQuest. The only thing I would say that is a little bit different from the spring success of FlyQuest versus how I feel like they won their only 4 games in summer is Prince is actually really not that fed. It is Vicla, which is kind of fascinating actually. With all of the conversation around Vicla this week, the announcement video from FlyQuest that is very ambiguously worded about Spyrax coming in for the NRG game, where everyone feels like that means it's the whole week. Then the announcement yesterday that said actually it was planned the whole time for Vicla to play in games 2 and 3. What we know is he's playing very well at the moment, which is great to see.
You know, whatever it was, Summit.
Headshot.
He's got Team Liquid reinforcements coming, but will they come fast enough? He's slammed them against the wall. Buy some time. Vicla might be in trouble now. No flash from the bottom side of the fight, and APA is there to punish with his flash pop blossom.
I'm sorry, Vicla. I caster cursed you really hard right there.
And Nero now is able to send his regards to Vicla for all the times you've cursed Golden Guardians, Jet.
That's a really big play for Team Liquid because of the large bounty that Vicla had and the fact that APA is now, despite only having 1 kill, 800 gold ahead of Vicla. He's been really a plate collector so far this game. This is going to be probably like his 6th individual plate that he's gotten. So another 175 gold in the bank there. And the gold's back to dead even.
Back to the comfort zone here, chat. So we get a look at the expanded gold lead you already talked about. 1K gold lead for APA on the Neeko. I mean, catching up with that huge shutdown puts them ahead of the Yone now. I mean, we've seen Yone's in the late game get out of control crazy, but as we mentioned during the draft phase, it's been a surprise to not see Neeko prioritize as much anymore. Yeah. Almost like people just forgot about her, and then we're gonna see if APA can make people remember why this champion was so terrifying to play against in the beginning.
Look at all that plate money that he's been able to acquire. Again, yes, he's got pretty good CS, almost 10 per minute, but not extraordinary, and only the 1 kill, which was a 600 gold kill with the bounty. And this is my favorite. The minion is my favorite for sure. Vicla knows it though.
Yeah.
Like, that minion was not attached to a wave. But specifically, I actually do want to see if APA in the later game just is a minion all the time. Because even if you're running through the jungle, it's really difficult as a player when there's no champion icon on the minimap to even notice that a minion is just randomly running through the jungle. Nice escape.
Yeah, good timing from the Fate Sealed, escapes the Pop Blossom. Rift Herald, numero dos, is up on the field. FlyQuest want to contest for it. They've already lost 1 ulti, but credit to them, APA burned his as well, so they might feel confident about at least contesting Team Liquid when they started up.
Yeah, Team Liquid definitely looking for some trouble. They have managed to get a lot of prio top lane, but they need to connect in the right spot. Oh, they found him.
Oh, nice kick from Pyosik. Vicla's gone. That's the numbers advantage the Team Liquid will need to start up the Rift Herald, and no contest from FlyQuest as they resume themselves back towards the bottom side of the map.
Same brain, Pyosik and APA, knowing what needs to get done. That's going to be a huge influx of gold for Team Liquid. Massive gold from the second Herald, as well as first turret going solo over to APA. So he will be by far the most fed member on this game. And I do want to track Vicla's performance in the rest of this game because he's still a very young player. And there's a decent chance he could be tilted after that big start and now 2 kind of deaths where he gets picked off.
Meanwhile, we return to the Isolated Summit show. We'll see if FlyQuest can make it his 3rd of the game. And unfortunately for Summit, he's got nowhere else to run. But on the mean side, Team Liquid are trying to get as much done in the mid lane. They summoned the Rift Herald, they got the crash in the mid turret tier 1, and now it's going to make the crash into tier 2. Maybe they can just take it out all right together.
They actually just got so much gold. That's wild. That's the one time I'll say Summit, don't worry about it. The weird thing about playing with Summit, though, is that this is your only option.
Yeah.
Like, your only option is to just let him die, because he's going to die no matter what. So make sure you're actually elsewhere and creating pressure, then you can make it a positive play.
Team Liquid thanks Summit for his services, his death for the cause.
Back at it again. He's just going to keep pushing.
You can't stop this guy. And now he might just walk on over and interrupt Spica since he has vision of the Dragon Pit. It's only Spica on the Dragon as well, so the objective is going to get at least reset here. And Team Liquid now have time to get in position to see if they can contest. Spica's waiting in this bush. APA sends in, and
numbers.
now, CoreJJ in the mid lane. Nice pick onto Impact, but Vulcan punts him away. And now Prince is in the field, but Summon is able to flank Impact, and he's got nowhere to run. The movement speed from Team Liquid as well. Run down Vulcan, and Pyosik is on the chase as well. Vicla is back, but he's forced to flash away. Pyosik is looking for Prince, but Prince is kiting him back, and he gets the Warhawk into the kick. Prince is gone, and Team Liquid spiral on forward.
Pyosik, this game is all about the mental advantage, man. Like, he has 3 deaths, but he picked off Vicla twice when it was most necessary. He realized Prince hasn't died yet. Let's just 1-for-1 under the turret. Like, let's burn everything just to put Prince into a gray screen. They could have just taken the dragon at the end of that, but he's trying to tilt him. So, this play right here, I do love the look by Team Liquid. Vicla is in Narnia at the start of this play, so Team Liquid know that they're going to have a numbers advantage. Just now, Vicla arrives, but the fight is basically already over. Vicla is able to pick up a kill, but then just has to completely bail from where he left his E, and Team Liquid has absolutely turned it on after a lackluster start to this game.
And with that, Team Liquid have a sizable gold lead now at this point, 4,000. 18 minutes, oh, whoa, but Vicla, my goodness, what is this game, chat?
Every Team Liquid game is
Dios mío, there's so much happening. FlyQuest are not going down without a fight, and I love that. Because, you know, for the most part, there have been times, especially that Spica has talked about this, where if FlyQuest don't get things going their way in the early game, they just kind of give up, and they're just like, all right, guys, I don't know what we can do here. But this past week, especially with last game, they have been fighting with every single breath that they've got.
Yeah, and they need to. They don't even, FlyQuest doesn't even control their own destiny. Even if they win all of their games, if cards do not fall the right way, they still wouldn't be able to make it into playoffs, but they need to find a way to pull this one out. The weird thing about that last play is it was a nice solo kill by Vicla, but it also was like a 3-person game when you looked at the minimap, because Vulcan and Spica were about 2 seconds away from that play, and it allowed Team Liquid to cross-map that second Drake of the game. So even though, and I'm not trying to defend Summit, even though he's died 6 times, Team Liquid is still getting something for almost all of his deaths, for now.
I appreciate the defense. You would make a good lawyer for Summit in this case.
Not a defense. Dying a little too much. But I'd say they're when life gives you Summit, make plays on the other side of the map.
Nice, nice. Well, Impact is going to make use of the fact that Summit is not here to defend the turret. And we'll look for tier 1 on the bottom side of the map, but Summit being on the top side of the map and has the help of his friends this time around can take tier 2 and the top side. So still overall tower advantage for Team Liquid as they look to push their vision line further and further into deep parts of the jungle.
Yeah, FlyQuest looking a little broken right here. If Team Liquid's actually able to take this Baron, it's going to completely slingshot them ahead in this game. FlyQuest has just been so slow since they've been getting picked. Arrow misses, but they know something's up.
They know it's at least 5,000 HP. Can Spica get in there, but CoreJJ is buying all the time. Baron has been secured. Vicla's into the pit, but he's forced to go back with the soul unbound. And Team Liquid, they don't have to force a fight here, but APA says go! And it's the 4-man pop blossom from APA! Can Team Liquid clean up the rest of the fight? Yes, they can. They've got the damage. Spica and Vicla are now left to the wolves of Team Liquid. Team Liquid didn't have to take that fight, but APA says, look at me! My name is Ian Sturzy. You'll remember my name as he makes his mark in the LCS.
What a massive play by Team Liquid there, Raafaa. They saw that they could take Baron. Like always, they just commit. They commit to something. They get the Baron first. They could have backed away, but they then use the Proto Belt to go in. FlyQuest knows it's up, and this is one of those things that can very easily become a split call. Some people are fighting, other people are bursting the Baron, but they get it. They avoid the original initiation, and then, you know, APA's just hanging around. He realizes nobody sees him. The sweeper was so key right there. He saw that they didn't have vision on him, which allowed him to land the engage of the game and likely give Team Liquid an insurmountable lead.
If it ain't done and dusted at this point, I don't know when it will be for Team Liquid. It is now a 7,000 gold lead on their side. They have Baron pushing up the bottom side of the map as well. Vicla and Prince are stuck on the top side trying to get resources before what could be their last defense of the base. The inhibitor tower collapses under Team Liquid's will, and they're looking for the inhibitor as well. And they're just going to shift on over thanks to Summit pushing in the mid lane, going for double inhibitors. Not sure if they will look for the push to end it all, but they surely can.
What an explosive game from Team Liquid. From about the 15-minute mark to now, they've grown their goal lead by about 9,000. Anything can happen in any Team Liquid game, Raafaa. That's why I'm not varying too far in tangent land, because you never know when they're going to try something.
But CoreJJ says go, flash over the wall, APA combos with the Pop Blossom, Trailblazer from an Equalizer from Rumble on top of them. When FlyQuest turned this fight around, they blew up 3 members from Team Liquid. You said it, chat, anything can happen in Team Liquid game, and FlyQuest are still in it.
I hate them so much. Like, why did they go for that fight? Just, God, they can get the gold, they can win the game, but they're keeping it entertaining. I think FlyQuest could even be back in this one, so nobody died on their end now. The death timers are decently long, and it might give them time to set up. Probably not. There's still 7,000 gold lead, but that always happens every time.
You sound like a disappointed dad right now. I feel you, Jat. Let's take a look at this again.
So, I mean, they do land the engage, but it's onto an Alistar. They miss all of the carries. Vicla lands a massive ult on top of the Equalizer, which just shreds the carries Team Liquid. It is actually a very well done counter engage by FlyQuest. But you know what? Team Liquid, they always shoot their shot, no matter what.
You never know if you don't try, right? And you know, props to Team Liquid, I guess, testing their limits and just going for things and not being afraid, because I will say in spring, when they had massive early games but were unsure of how to close out mid and late game, and they just they didn't commit at all. They weren't on the same page of fights. This time, they are on the same page.
Yes.
It just happened to be a bad one, but it's okay.
Everyone was there.
At least you all learned together that it was a bad play.
Yeah, it's Goldie only 6,000 now, so still a very high percentage chance of winning this game, but definitely not as lopsided as it was before that disaster fight in the mid lane. Baron buff now gone, and they're likely trying to walk in this last minion wave while super minions crash. If they can break a third inhibitor, it'll definitely buy them time for free Baron. So good chance we see Team Liquid going for a fight here.
TL positioned in through the mid lane while Summit gets the minions through the top side of the map. They still have super minions pouring in through the bottom side, so there's pressure that FlyQuest have to attend to. They cannot stay all 5 members on the top side for long. As soon as this next wave of supers will be coming through, APA trying to husher it in a little bit quicker as they no longer have the Baron buff. FlyQuest are doing a decent job of holding out.
Yeah, APA now hoping for flank position. I really like this approach from the Neeko, because if he can push deep and then just threaten a Neeko ult in here, it allows Summit to get free time on this turret. So I think that's what they're going to be trying to do now. Just get these 2 waves as deep as possible while Summit crashes, and then kind of move over and block FlyQuest out from pushing in.
Yeah. Try to collapse under impact as well, separate him from the rest of the pack. Vicla goes on to APA with the Fate Seal. Pop Blossom answers right on back. Prince lands the arrow true on to APA, and he might just be sunning up enough. FlyQuest gets the smite down and kills APA. And now the Magna Storm in the follow-up. Can FlyQuest get more done? Summit is forced to join the pack of Team Liquid so they can salvage the fight. Pyosik and answers back onto Vicla, and Yeon with the flash forward takes out the most members of FlyQuest, but there's still impact. Summit flashing away, but it's still enough damage. Impact burning alive with the stopwatch, but he's burning down CoreJJ, but Yeon has the damage. And now it's just Prince. 1 versus 2. He's waiting for Vulcan to come back from the fountain, but FlyQuest hold the base for now.
Huge success for FlyQuest, getting a 3 for 3, because this entire time they're getting super minions here and super minions there that are just giving more gold to Prince. At one point, he was 1.5 items to the 3 full items of Yeon. He's starting to catch up right here. So we knew the plan for Team Liquid would be to push in and shift over, but APA gets disconnected. Vicla, I think, finds a very good engage that is comboed by the Ashe arrow, and they're just barely able to finish him off with the Spica Rell smite. Then, because they were originally planning to push from the top side, Summit's slowly making his way over, and the fight is just a little bit too late. He's half out by the time he comes in, so overall, really nice play by FlyQuest. Baron is back up, and you know Team Liquid wants it.
They're trying to catch out Spica, but too tanky on the Rell. He's able to make his escape for now. Might be forced to use the Blast Cone. CoreJJ will use it instead. Team Liquid take up post in the top side red jungle, clearing out vision so they can set up for the Baron take. But FlyQuest are a little stronger than last time around. They might take their chances of engaging into this Baron pit.
They really want to get there. I don't know if they can get through, because the threat of a Neeko flank is very high. They're going to try, though.
Yeon and Pyosik are burning it down as fast as they can. APA marks off Vicla, and they get the Baron down. APA can just walk away. Vicla is very low, so he's out of this fight. And the rest of FlyQuest now have to retreat. Vulcan is left to the wolves, and Team Liquid get 1 pick off, and the Baron on their side.
Yeah, the Baron DPS from the Kaisa is just so high. They can just 2-man it and kill it much faster than FlyQuest would have expected. I think they're going to be going for the end right now, actually. They're at least going to cycle these inhibitors, because there's still 1.5 minutes until the next Drake. If they find an engage, I expect them to try and end.
If they want to push it, now would be a time. You have 18 seconds before Vulcan comes up. But Spica says they're going to fight on their own terms, and they find Yeon, they pop him! That means AP is the only damage left standing, and he's on the right side of the field here. CoreJJ is forced out, Pyosik is forced out, Summit can't go Mega! The inhibitor falls, but FlyQuest still managed to defend the base!
Yep. Okay. Okay. 55 seconds for the next Drake. Summit and Yeon are still down. I think FlyQuest is going to be able to deny the soul there as well. Technically, Team Liquid did cycle both inhibitors, but, I mean...
No way.
A really good engage by FlyQuest. I would say... Is Yeon just, like, going for an assassination? Just, like, trying to make the big play?
Hey, APA is waiting. He has Pop
Blossom
available.
That's APA. He fooled me. I mean, he could one-shot someone. He could. Pyosik is with him.
How long is he
Why not?
wait for this?
Oh, why not try?
That would be sick.
I mean, may as well.
They're going to push up their vision line now. No longer the blue buff. I don't know if Spica's the target you want. He distanced himself away. They got a huge chunk. Dragon spawns in 13 seconds. Spica's down to half HP. That's one of the core front lines that has to poke first and has to face check in this river as CoreJJ is cleaning out vision. Now Vulcan is on duty for being the first one into the river here. Impact is coming
APA
around.
has a flank. They can kill Impact.
They want to look for Impact. Make sure that he doesn't get his equalizer. Nice kick! Oh my god, that was beautiful! The kick into the Pop Blossom. Geometry classes, 10 points for Pyosik and APA, and now FlyQuest, they are pincered here. There's no Pop Blossom available, but APA and Pyosik are forcing Vicla's hand, and with the soul unbound, he will be forced to return back into Summit's waiting arms as he throws him into the wall. Team Liquid have the numbers advantage. They take out Spica. It's only Prince left. Surely this should be the end of the game. Prince, I don't know if he could do it. It's just 1 man against 4. It would be a miracle, but Summit is going to deny him the ability to go walk into the fountain and look for the respawn, the regen of the HP. He's kiting back as much as he can. He's doing a ton of damage, but can he put out against 4? I don't think so. Team Liquid is going to lock this one away, knocking out Prince and claiming their playoff spot.
Never a doubt for Team Liquid after that explosive mid-game. they're just going to keep shooting. And at the very end, APA and Pyosik find the flank in the jungle to take out Impact and shut down the FlyQuest comeback attempt. Another